All right, this is Pod Jak'd, episode 1. This is going to be a audio-only podcast for now. And depending on the feedback that I get, maybe eventually we'll do a video or a live one. But I don't know about that. Right now, this is just about doing a solo podcast for the channel. It's pretty much just random, rambling, rants, thoughts. My videos usually have a topic, and that's the whole video. And this is kind of similar, except it's a bunch of things. And it's just a way to put, more content on the channel, depending on the feedback that I get. People are actually going to listen to. I already do a podcast on my regular channel that nobody really listens to. It's a comedy podcast, but it's by myself, and it's really weird, and just I don't blame people for not listening to that. A few people do. So this one is going to be also a solo podcast, but once again, it depends if people are going to listen to this, if they're not going to bother to listen or, comment on it. You don't have to comment on it and lie and say, hey, good job, I like the show. But, people are actually going to discuss what I'm talking about and comment on it, then, once again, it depends on the feedback. If there's not much feedback, then try out a few episodes and then just throw it away, like a lot of the other failed podcasts out there. But pretty much some of the topics that I want to talk about is, I want to start by talking about dating coaches. I was watching this video on He to Succeed's channel. I don't really watch videos from his channel. People bring him up to me sometimes because he's the guy who started, I guess he started that whole It's Over thing. And I used to go to his channel and not really watch the video, so I was bored recently. I was on his channel a few nights ago, and I watched the video where he called into this guy, Steve the Dean Williams show. Steve the Dean Williams is this black dating coach. I think he knows Alan Roger Curry, and, he's like this alpha male type of dude, all this shit. I don't know what his mindset is, but I'm pretty sure it's like this alpha straight approach type of thing. And He to Succeed called in to his live show, and he asked him, he pretty much said, hey, why is it so hard to get women? That was his question. And Steve said, all right, I got to get to know you a little bit. So he asked him how old he is, and I think he said he's 28 at the time. It was like a year or two ago, maybe. And then he starts talking to him, and he's like, well, what do you say to a woman? Now, I've had people say this to me before, too. Even girls. Like, I remember when I was younger, when I was like in my early 20s, I used to have girls say to me, well, what do you say to girls? And I used to say, well, I say hi to them, and then I say, I think you're really cute, and I introduce myself and ask what their name is, and they would say, no, you can't say that. You gotta, do this. And I tried whatever advice women gave me, even though women give the worst advice. Pretty much I followed that. I followed everyone's advice, and it got me nothing. And we all know that, yeah, there is a such thing as I wouldn't say game is minimal, but there is, the wrong things to say. But once again, if you're, attractive and all that stuff, then it doesn't really matter, unless you're saying something really creepy or really weird that's going to make the girl freak out. It doesn't fucking matter, once again, you can just talk to them about anything. And if they like you, then, but he said, pretty much what he says is, excuse me. And you could tell he was nervous for some reason. He was kind of nervous for some reason, I guess because it was live or because he was talking to somebody kind of not famous, but kind of well known in the dating coach and seduction community. And he was like, I pretty much say, excuse me. And he goes, okay. And the girl's like, yeah. And he goes, I just wanted to come over and say that, I would like to get together with you sometime. And then Steve cuts him, and he kept cutting him off. And it just really upset me because this is what these dating coaches do. I've listened to, Alan Roger Curry show years ago. I don't really watch this guy. And then there's other dudes like David X and these other guys. What they do is they cut you off and they use this. They talk to you like they're your father. They try to be alpha, but they talk down to you. Like they cut you off. They try to make you sound stupid. They try to make you nervous. They want to make you look like you don't know anything. So he cuts him off. He goes, do what? You want to get together with me? Like, do what? And he's like, and he said something. It was kind of weird. He was like, I would like to be alone with you sometime. in a dark room. So you could tell he was trying to be, straightforward. He was trying to go for like a direct approach. But, the alone in the dark room thing, I think that was just nervous. I think he was just nervous when he said that. I don't think that's what he would say. And if it is, I would love to see that I would love to see that approach on film. But you could tell he was nervous for some reason talking to this dude. And then Steve the Dean was like, that's just really weird. And he's like, well, girls talk about guys. He said, no, you're wrong. They talk about guys like you because that's some weird, creepy shit. And even if it did come off weird, once again, it depends who says it. Once again, if it's a guy they're not attracted to, then yeah, a comment like that is obviously going to make a woman. Because first of all, if you're talking to a woman and once again, and they don't like you at all, then you're automatically going to come off awkward. It's automatically going to come off weird. It's automatically going to come off in this way where it's like the girl's like, okay, how do I get out of this? I don't want to talk to this guy. But once again, if it's a guy they really find attractive, I really think that a guy could get away with that. Say something like, I would like to get together with you in a dark room, even though that sounds weird because the girl would just laugh and think, oh, he's being funny. But, if a guy like me said that shit, they would be like, what? What the fuck? What does that mean? That sounds weird. So he was putting him down and stuff, and he was just, saying, you got to, and then he starts saying, oh, you got to read my book. It's for free. It's like this thing I wrote. You got to read it. You don't listen to other guys. And it's like, okay, first of all, every day, how many dating coaches there are out there? I don't know how many exactly. There's got to be 100, if not more, because guys will always have trouble getting laid. And guys will always, do whatever it takes to get laid, as far as paying for dating coaches and paying all this money for products. So he's like, yeah, I got this product for free. Have you even tried the, don't listen to guys. You got to listen to me. That's what everybody says. Listen to me. And I followed everybody. When I was going through my PUA adventure, I followed everybody. Once again, from mystery method to all this other shit, direct approaches, indirect/direct, all routines, mindsets, all this bullshit, websites, articles. I tried everything and it didn't work. Mindsets, think you're the man, think you're the god, think you're the fucking guy. That shit doesn't matter, man. I tried it all. So he's like, you got to read my thing. It's like, it's all bullshit. It's just all fucking bullshit. And he starts putting them down. Like, you going to listen to all these other guys. You got to listen to one guy and everything, blah, 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 blah. And he said, how do you know? And then he said something about choosing signals. He said, how do you know about that? How the hell do you know about choosing signals? And he was like, I found it on YouTube years ago. He says, that's what I'm saying. You guys keep following these other guys. But see, every dating coach is going to say that. Like, oh, don't listen to all these dudes. You got to listen to me. But see, there's too much information out there. There's too much. There's dozens and dozens of guys out there teaching you this bullshit. And I was confused too. And I followed it all, thinking one day some method was going to pay off. And it didn't pay off. It was all just a bunch of bullshit. So dating coaches, man, they're just assholes. They talk down to you. They put you down. I'm so glad that, I just went out and fucking did it myself. Even though I failed, no guy could help me. As a matter of fact, there used to be this website called the Attraction Forums. And I went on there looking for a wingman. Some of the guys used to know mystery, I guess, started it. The guys used to run magic bullets. And this guy messaged me one day. And he was like, hey, man, I heard you. He's like, I see you post around and stuff. Where do you live and everything? I said, I'm in Philly. And I thought he was looking for a wingman because I posted a wingman group. He said, he said, how you doing? I said, I'm not doing too well. I'm not getting results. He said, I can help you. I said, no offense, dude, but I go out and I do day game and night game by myself. I go out like 4 or 5 times a week. I approach a shitload of girls. What can you tell me? What are you going to tell me that is going to help me? And he said, I can show you what you're doing wrong and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. He wanted me to, he didn't say anything about money, but I could tell he wanted money. And he wrote me twice, and I told him, dude, I'm never paying for a dating coach. I had to be like maybe 26, maybe 27 at this time, 6, 7 years ago. I was like, man, I'm not paying for no dating coach, man. Straight up. I'm never paying for a dating coach. And then when He to Succeed was talking to the Steve the Dean guy, he said, did you approach 5 women a day? And then he said, no, it's a waste of energy. And he said, how the fuck is that a waste of energy? But it is. It's mental energy. It's not physical energy. Like, there's a difference between physical and mental energy. Physical energy is like, you work an 8-hour day, and then you come home from work and you're tired. But yeah, approaching women, damn right that's some fucking mental energy. Even just the idea of thinking about what to say to a woman, like, think about it right now. Think about, okay, let's say there's like a hot chick. You're in a 7-Eleven, you're in a Wawa, you're in a store, gas station, whatever, and you think, okay, what can I say to that girl? Just thinking about it is going to stress you out. Just thinking about it is going to pressure you. And when you do that shit for years and years and years and years like I did, that's a lot of pressure you're putting on yourself. So you say, oh yeah, you got to approach 5 women a day. First of all, I've approached sometimes 10, sometimes 15, sometimes more than that when I used to be on. Day game and night game. I used to approach a shit ton of women, and guess what? It didn't matter. It doesn't matter how much women you approach. There's dudes out there who fucking approach like crazy, even more than I used to, and they don't get nothing. So approaching 5 women a day, that sounds like that's heading the right step. Remember, it don't matter how many girls you approach if they're not attracted to you. If they're not attracted to you and there's nothing they can get off you, unless they want to use you for a free date or something, to get a free meal, it doesn't matter. So that's the shit these dating coaches do, And another thing I was going to bring up earlier was this dude. There used to be this thing called field reports. And if you don't know what a field report is, it's when you write down your day of you going out to approach girls. Like, oh yeah, I went to the mall today. I got there at 3 p.m. I saw this blonde girl wearing a pink top. I ran over to her. There used to be this dude that used to approach there. He put all of his approaches there. He used to approach like 10, 15 women a day in the mall. He used to run after them. He did the Sasha Day game approach. He would jump in front of them, and he would say, hi, my name is Charlie. I had to stop you, and I thought I want to say hi. And he did an approach over and over and over. And I think he did it for like a year. He got like 1 date and a couple phone numbers. Almost every girl said they had a boyfriend. So that dude did a shit ton of approaches, and it was almost sad. Like, I would just check it every couple of days and read it, and he would write down his results, and he would get like 2 phone numbers. He would get some positive responses, but he wasn't getting nothing. And that's the kind of energy that you're going to burn just approaching tons of women. I feel like approaching tons of women is unhealthy. When you're doing PUA, it's fun in the beginning because it's like this new hobby. You meet like-minded guys, you're going out, and then you like, for me, I had overprotective parents. I had to be in by dark when I was a kid. They treated me like that. So when I first started going out at night, it was like I'm making up for lost times. I wasn't able to go to parties when I was in high school like regular kids, and I wasn't in college, so it was like this new thing. So it was so exciting for me. So I was going out and all that stuff. So it's fun in the beginning, but the reason why I quit because I wasn't having fun anymore. So once the fun ends, that's it. But fucking approaching a ton of women is only going to lead to, in the end, it's just going to lead to like depression. You're going to end up resenting women. You're going to end up hating them. And more importantly, you're going to end up hating yourself. Because you're like, why is this so hard for me? I'm a piece of shit. No matter what I do, it's not fucking good enough. What the fuck? Why is this so hard? How come other guys are doing better than me? I don't understand. Why do I have to do all this? When is it ever going to click? When am I ever going to get good? Is this going to be the rest of my life? It's just and you might think at the beginning, like, oh, it's better to try not to try. But, just like people bring up all the time in the comments, someone brought up a good point in the He to Succeed video I was just talking about. They said, he should have brought up the fact that how come good-looking guys don't got to do PUA? How come good-looking guys don't even really have to go out and approach women? They can just live their life. They can just stand around, and they got no problem. So, I'm so proud of myself, the fact that I never paid for no fucking dating coach. And then when I was broke, I told this story before, there was this local dude, he wasn't even that good. And he got my number from the Simple Pickup Forum. And he was like, hey man, I've seen you around before. He just called me out of the blue. I got home from work one day. I was tired, back when I used to have my good government job. And he was like, yeah, man, I remember you. I used to see you around. You're doing it all wrong. I can teach you. Like, you're okay and everything. And I just moved back in with my parents' house. I said, dude, you don't understand. First of all, no offense, I wouldn't pay from a boot camp from anybody. That's number one. Number two, I was like, I just moved back in with my parents. I lost all this money from fucking, the cunt roommate that I had. I told you about, the girl I was friends with that I reluctantly moved in with that I was stupid for. And I told him that. And he didn't care. He was like, oh, man, you got to do this. I said, I don't have any fucking money, man. And if I did, I still wouldn't pay you. So then, I guess he got mad because I wouldn't pay for his boot camp. Then he started goofing on me. He was like, yeah, he was texting me and stuff. He said, hey, man, I got this thing on Tinder. This is going to tell you what a scam was. And then he texted me and said, I got this thing on Tinder where they help you with the algorithm and you can get dates and stuff. I said, why would I pay for that? I said, how's that going to help me tricking girls? And he was like, he's like, I think you were talking to one of my friends. He told me that you made tons of approaches and you only been late a few times. And he laughed. It was like he was laughing at me. And I said, well, yeah, it's true. I've only had a few times to, do stuff. But I said, I don't see how that's funny. But he was like laughing at me. It was almost like he was mad but I know 3 dudes. I seen he was charging $3,000 for his boot camp, and this was a local guy, and this is crazy. And one of the dudes, I met him as a wingman. He told me he was going to take his boot camp. I said, don't do it. I said, it's up to you. It's not up to that. He can't get you laid. And he said, no, I just want to learn fast. I said, he can't teach you nothing. I've seen this guy by himself. He's not that good himself. He's not no master. He lied and said, oh, I pool every single weekend. Any guy that says he gets laid every single week or he pulls girls doing PA, even good-looking guys don't pull girls every weekend. And this dude was not, he was like decent looking at best, He was like about the same height as me, had glasses, blonde hair looking dude. I'm pretty sure he's better looking than me because a lot of dudes are better looking than me, but he wasn't, but not by much though, So the dude paid for it, and then I ran him a couple months later, and he said, the Asian guy that paid for it, he was like, yo, you're right, man. I should never took that boot camp. It was a scam. He said, if it's, it's not, I couldn't do it myself, then how can I, he said something like that. And I said, oh yeah. And I just walked away. So that's what I'm saying. I tried to warn him. I told him, I said, look, man, what's he going to teach you? I mean, even if it motivates you, even if it pumps you up, it's up to the girls to decide. It's not up to him. All these dudes keep acting like they can decide who gets laid and who. You can't decide. It's up to them. If they don't want to date you, they don't want to fuck you, it's just not going to happen. Something else I want to bring up is this happened last Saturday, not this past Saturday. Last Saturday, I was out. I was getting ready to go home, and there was these 2 black girls sitting down. None of them were race, but there was these 2 black girls sitting down, and these 2 Hispanic guys came over and approached them, right? And they got right up and walked away. Like, they didn't even say, have a good night. And I was like, that's what I'm saying. Like, no matter how many bitches are out. And this past Saturday, I think because college season's coming back and because the weather was cooling down, less people in the outdoor bars, it was packed with, like, more thoughts than usual in the area that I hang out in Philly. It was tons of girls out. And it's almost depressing. Like, I don't go out for girls. I go out just to get out. And I try to go out at least one Saturday a week, just to do something. And I was thinking to myself, man, this is sad. Like, no matter how many bitches go out, they ain't none of them giving out no pussy. There might be one chick that might give out some ass. And she might look like Shrek, like I said. But for the most part, they ain't giving out no ass. So it could be fucking 200 girls in the area. And they, they're wearing their slutty outfits. And they're not going to fuck nobody, dude. So it's like, what the fuck, So I'm glad I don't really try anymore. And fucking people still say, oh, why do you go out then? Once again, I go out just to do podcasts and a little bit of vlogging. But the weather's going to start changing. It's going to start getting cold soon, so that sucks. It's great when it's summertime because I can just sit outside and rest. But once it gets fucking cold, then I have no choice but to go inside the bars. And then I do that shit. I stand around like people think I work in bars because I stand around. And I look like I'm bored because I don't dance anymore. I don't talk to people anymore. So people just literally look at me like, oh, this guy works here. You know, like he must work. I don't even dress like a bouncer or anything. They just assume I work there because I'm just by myself, standing around. Because I'm just out of it. I'm totally antisocial now. I don't talk to people. You know, I don't approach hoes no more. I don't even dance really. I don't do anything. So it's like, well, why do you go out then? I could stay at home, but all I'm going to do is be on YouTube all night. YouTube and playing video games. So to avoid that, I do that all week anyways. So to avoid that, I try to go out at least a couple nights a week, either to do comedy or go out on a Saturday night and just try to enjoy the nightlife. Because I still like going out at night. I still like the nightlife. And I don't need girls to have fun because they're not going to, once again, they're not going to make you happy anyways. They only care about their own self. And the guy that talked about that had the local boot camps, the scam artist guy, he used to have a YouTube channel, and he had prank videos, like fake pranks, like the gold digger prank and stuff and everything. And he was just copying off RSD. He was just copying off fucking RSD, and he was just fucking like saying everything they said. And then he tried to play me. I think he's still resentful that I never took his boot camp because I told him PUA is a scam and everything. He's like, nah, I still believe in it. And then he tried to play me. Like I already brushed my teeth and I gargled Listerine before I left the house, and I chewed gum. And he was like, no offense, dude, but you need to put a piece of gum in your mouth. And I said, what are you talking about? I was like, I brushed my teeth and I had gum. He said, well, you need to put another piece of gum in your mouth. And then he came on to me a few minutes later to talk to me at this outdoor party. He said, dude, you need a piece of gum? And I was like, look, man, you're just trying to mess with my head. I was like, leave me alone. I was like, no offense. I was like, I have gum. My breath doesn't fucking stink. And you're smelling your own breath. And he started laughing and said, oh, sorry, man. I'm not trying to. It's like he's just being a dick, you know. And it's like, I know my breath doesn't fucking stink. Because I fucking, you know, I fucking put a piece of gum in my mouth. So he was smelling his own asshole breath, and he was trying to pin it on me. And speaking of RSD, the only channel I'm subscribed to is RSD Free Tour. I don't watch their videos fully, but I watch them once in a while because I know it's a scam. And there's a thumbnail of this black Hispanic looking chick. She looks like a model. You can tell she's a model actress they hired, and she's definitely a model. She's wearing like nice clothes, right? And she's jumping in his arms, like, you know, he does that thing when he picks them up. And you can tell it's fake because I have approached, believe it or not, very attractive women. I've approached, you can call them pigs, which, you know, sounds mean. I've approached below average. I've approached average, good looking. And of course, I've approached, believe it or not, hot chicks. And none of them ever jumped in my arms. None of them ever jumped on top of me. So that's fake. And more people have been saying the videos are fake. It's kind of funny if you go to, I forgot what it's called, Red Pill Rage, one of those sites. They call PUAs out for being fake. They expose them. It's great. And people more, because first of all, they use a big camera. So it's like, how does a girl not see it? I don't care how drunk she is. How does she not see a big giant camera with a big light hanging out of it? And then people say, hey, it's fake. And then I actually commented on one of the videos years ago. I wrote, this video is obviously so fake, whatever. And then Tyler commented on it. He went, dude, what are you talking about? We're legit. We've been around for years. Okay, so Tyler was around since mystery days. He used to sleep on his couch or some shit. Okay, so just because you've been in it for 20 years or something doesn't mean that automatically makes you legit. It's clear that, you know, the videos are fake. You can tell. And I remember one from Madison. I forgot which ones. I was watching one of his videos. It was so fake. It was clearly fake. You could just tell the girl was just clearly just fucking just acting like, you know, just totally like she was directed by something. The guy Luke, this one guy told me, oh, he's legit, man. Fucking one of his videos, he had like strippers with a leash around their neck and shit. It's just all fake. It's just horseshit. Oh yeah, RSD Sarah. There's a female dating coach, everybody. Because if anybody can get you laid, it's a woman. They're not going to be honest with you. You think they're going to be honest with you and say, oh yeah, if you want to get a woman, you got to be an asshole. You got to fuck with their head. You got to be a dick. You got to fucking, you know, flake on them, and you got to stand them up, and you got to treat them like shit. You think they're going to tell you that? No. What are they going to tell you? Like that chick Kez Noble, whatever her name is. They're going to tell you that, oh, just buy him a drink and just go over and just be a nice guy. What are they going to tell you? Well, how can she help you? How can she know what you're thinking? She's a woman. She's a cunt. How can she tell you what you're thinking and you're feeling? How's she gonna tell you? How can you relate to her? What does she know? Does she know what it's like to be a guy? Like, the other guys are scam artists, but at least they know what it's like to be a guy. And they know what it's like to be a guy dealing with women. How can a woman tell you how to fuck you're dealing with them? Well, they have no idea what we go through. They have no idea what they're even like. So how can they help you? So just fucking bullshit. And remember, RSD sues people for slander. Why do you think there's no negative reviews? This guy wrote a whole negative article years ago about the boot camp, how Tyler showed up late and how he treated everybody like shit. And they were like, Tyler wrote him and said, hey man, take that down. I tried to help you. And I think he was threatened to be sued. And that's why you don't see any negative reviews, because they'll sue you. You know, that's interesting. Like, if I wrote a negative review about Toyota, they wouldn't sue me. Now, I know obviously a car company is different from a dating coach, but if I got a car from Toyota and I said, hey, you know, it was a piece of shit, it's not going to stop people from buying Toyotas, but I don't think Toyota's going to write me a cease and desist letter and say, we're going to sue you. We're going to fucking sue you. You had to, you take that review down. So why do you think they want to take those reviews down? Because they know it's bullshit. And they know that they don't want other guys to wake up and realize that they're just full of shit. They're not going to treat you with respect. They're going to keep telling you to buy their products. It's a load of fucking crap. So check out Red Pill Rage. Check out other websites like that where they expose PUAs. Some of it's trolling. It's really harsh stuff. Like, there's racism on there. There's trolling on there. So if you're sensitive to stuff like that, watch it out. But I go on there once in a while, and it's kind of funny what they pull up. Well, anyways, this is just the first episode. I just want to, once again, it's just going to be random rants, thoughts, just rambling. I'm laying down right now. I can record this on my computer, but the show is I lay down and I relax. So instead of me sitting down on my computer, looking at the webcam, looking at the screen, I can kind of focus. I can even close my eyes if I want and get more out. So this is Pod Jak'd, episode 1. And once again, we'll see how the feedback goes and how you guys react to it, and we'll go from there. So if you listen to this whole thing, bless your heart for getting through all that. And thank you for listening. And hopefully there'll be another episode. So comment on any topic or any thought that you feel like you can comment on or relate to. If it's in you. You know, if it's in the moment, if it's natural. You don't have to. You don't have to force it. And I'll get back to you. All right? Thanks for listening.